Hey guys, welcome back to Bible Fun with the Nuns. Today we're studying Job chapter 36. Let's get started.
Okay, Job chapter number 36. We are getting down toward the end of Elihu, and as Mom and John talked about a while ago, we're ready for Elihu to be quiet, and we're ready to hear from God. What's happening in this chapter is that Elihu is trying to throw out some evidence. Now, as he does this, he's not really holding their attention. You can tell it in verse 1. He says, "Bear with me a little and I will show you. There are yet words to speak on God's behalf." So the way John and Mama were feeling a while ago, that's the way that evidently Elihu's listeners were feeling too. They're like, "Hey man, you got to come on and tell us what you're trying to say." He was losing their attention. As he begins to kind of try to pull them back in, he gets bolder and more prideful. He said, "For truly my words are not false. One who is perfect in knowledge is with you." I mean, look, he is just saying he knows it all, and everybody ought to listen to him because he knows it all. In this chapter, he's trying to give out all the evidence so that anybody listening can agree that when we're in trouble and when we're bad, God will discipline us with harsh punishment in order to get us back on the right path. Now, here's where he's going with this. In his mind, if you are bad, you will be punished. If when you are punished, you fix and repent, then God will bless you and put you back on the path of blessing. If you are ever on the path of blessing, it means that you are living good and there's no reason for you to be disciplined. Here's how we know he's wrong. When Daniel was living in Babylon, John, you remember the story? When Daniel's living there and Daniel goes to pray and the guys get angry with him, they throw him into what den?
The lions.
The lion's den. Did he do anything bad to deserve that?
Nope.
No. What about Joseph in the Bible? Joseph got thrown into a pit by who?
His brothers.
By his brothers. And then when he gets into Egypt, there's a lady who lies about him and Joseph goes to jail. Did Joseph do anything wrong in those stories? Nope, but he suffered. Now let's take the big example. Jesus died for us on the
cross.
He was dead for how many days?
3.
And they put spikes in his hands and in his what?
Like feet.
In his feet. That's exactly right. And they stabbed him in the side with what? A spear.
A spear.
Okay, so here's the big questions. Did Jesus ever do anything wrong?
No.
Did Jesus ever do anything bad?
No.
Did Jesus ever sin in any way that would have made all of the bad things he went through that would explain it? Did Jesus deserve any of it?
No.
But did he suffer?
Yes.
Okay. So if Jesus can do nothing wrong and suffer, is it possible that suffering is not always caused by sin? Sometimes it's just life. Yes. Elihu didn't get that, and he's really not catching the point. Now, John, what was your takeaway from this chapter?
My takeaway was verse 22, and it's about how Elihu thinks he thinks he knows too much. And basically, verse 22 he says, "Behold, God is exalted by his power. Who teaches like him? Or who has assigned him his way? Or who has said, you have done wrong?" So basically, in 22 and 23, he's saying, I'm as good as a teacher as God, and that's not true.
Yeah. God is certainly a teacher like no other. That we don't have to question that a bit. God knows everything. The problem with Elihu is he's talking like he too is a teacher, when in reality, he's like the rest of us. We are supposed to be students. Okay? Now here's another piece of this puzzle. Look at verse number 18. It says, "Because there is wrath, beware lest he take you away with one blow. For a large ransom would not help you avoid it. Will your riches or all your mighty your forces keep you from distress?" And so he's talking about earthly resources. Now I want to read you something I thought was kind of neat. Some time ago, the Wall Street Journal had an article, and here's what it said. It said that money is an article which may be used as a universal passport to everywhere except heaven. and as a universal provider for everything except happiness. Well, listen, they got it right. So Elihu says, your money cannot stop you from experiencing the judgment of God. And you know what? He's right. Money can't buy you everything in life. So what we take away from this is Elihu was getting a little bit big for his britches. He was a student who was trying to act like he had figured everything out like a teacher. But he wasn't wrong about everything. See, there's always a grain of truth and a grain of we still got some things to figure out in these lessons. That's what's so pretty. That's what's so pretty about reading all these speeches is we can see where they got it right and where they got it wrong. Now, they didn't see it. They thought they were right on. It's easy for us to look from the outside in and notice the trouble. And by the way, it's easy for other people to look from the outside in at our lives and see trouble too. We ought to have good people around us. Not the people that tell us just what we want to hear, but people that'll tell us the truth. But people that'll also help us stay humble and be humble with us as we all try to serve God together. Keep reading this. You got Elihu talking tomorrow in chapter number 37. But look, chapter 38, that's when God shows up to talk. And that's when the story changes. Keep reading. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.